My husband considers himself an art connoisseur when he's not. He filled his home office and the hallway with his collection, which he inherited from his grandfather. The point is that his grandfather got scammed, and most of the paintings, statuettes, and artifacts, fake guns, books, ship models, are fakes or reproductions. Very few real pieces. My husband knows, but he liked it as a kid, and so he kept it, adding stuff over the years. He always bought fakes or repros too, saying he likes how they look, and he wouldn't bankrupt us like that. To be honest, I couldn't stand that assortment of random knickknacks, especially because they aren't worth a thing. His hallway and office looked like a kid's idea of a museum. He was away on a trip 2 weeks ago, and I seized the occasion to put all the stuff in storage and give a restyling to his office. I figured he'd get upset, but eventually accept it. When he came back, he was silent. I reassured him I didn't throw any of his knickknacks, just put them in storage, and that I liked his room much better now, and his grandmother should have done the same for his grandfather. He said that the rest of the house is already in my style and he accepted it, but the office and hallway were his space. I reassured him he will like it better with time, but a week has passed and he looks depressed. He stopped spending time in his room, barely talks to me, and even refuses intimacy. He acted indifferent and told me I can get rid of the few things I kept. I am starting to think I overstepped. Did I make a mistake? I am considering apologizing and getting his stuff back in his office. Update, guys. I hear you. I screwed up big time, and I know it. I'll ask him if he can forgive me, and I will get back all his stuff. I'll also offer to display some of his stuff in the living room as a peace offering. Top comment, somebody said, "Yeah, you disrespected him big time." Original poster replied, "I see that now. I will apologize and bring back his stuff. I am also going to ask him to display some stuff in the living room." Somebody replied, "You need to seek therapy and try to understand why you feel so superior to your husband. Why do you have the need to belittle him, saying he thinks he's something but he's not, devaluing his preferences? Why you're so sure about your way being the better way, and next, the only way? It's just him, or you depreciate other people in your life. The degrading way you describe him and the things he likes, it's disgusting. I can even see your smirk while reading. I can't fathom why someone would treat it so like this. You need help." Another comment, "You did overstep. This is major disrespect. These things were important to him, and it doesn't matter if you like them or not. Even if it was the ugliest object you have ever seen, you should still accept his feelings about it. This is about something more than just objects. This is showing him that his opinion doesn't matter to you and that he can't trust you. You should apologize immediately and let him know that you really do realize it was a wrong thing to do." Another said, "Yes, you made a mistake. You have been crapping on his hobby for a long time, and now you finally took the final step and converted his space into what you want. How selfish of you. Not only should you apologize, you should help him restore his space and buy him a few bad art pieces that he would like." Update. Hey guys, I know I screwed up big time, and your comments just reinforced that feeling. I went to my husband, gave him a massive apology, and told him I would really like to get back his collection and get his office and hallway like they were before. I also apologized for going behind his back and violating his safe space the way I did. I also offered to let him display some pieces in our bedroom and living room, and next time he spots something he would like to add to his collection, I am paying for it. He accepted my apology and forgave me. We spent the afternoon getting his stuff back in place. It's not worth it to create a rift between us for this. I might not like his taste in art, but I love this man, and if he's happy, I am happy too. Thank you all for the comments and the tough love. I really needed it. Top comment. I didn't read or respond to the first post. But wow, what a wholesome, mature response you evolved into. Yes, you way overstepped and were rude AF, but your response to him and here shows you are a better human than most. Good for you for accepting growth and seeing what's truly important. Something you also might want to reflect on is the mentality that had you saying, "Yes, you're upset now, but in time you'll realize that I'm right." I wonder if there are other places in your relationship where you do this to him. Basically, this sounds like a pretty entitled/superior mindset, where you think that if you are right and he's wrong, you can just do what you want because he'll eventually realize the error of his ways. You mentioned that his grandmother should have done this to his grandfather. Was this kind of behavior something you noticed in your own family growing up? Update. I saw my story on TikTok and discovered it's been shared across Reddit, and many people commented. I read all the comments, and they got me thinking about our marriage and how it's starting to mirror one of my parents. My mother has always been very controlling with my father. She's what people would call a one-tone nag, always moaning and complaining about something, and this is the main reason I keep my distance from her. My father is a quiet man who avoids all conflict, and my husband is kinda like him. Now I am realizing I am becoming exactly like my mother. I admit I didn't outright throw away my husband's stuff because a part of me knew that if I did, it would have done damage that couldn't be repaired. But I still do many little things that my mother would do, like swapping the clothes he picks in the morning with ones I think look better, or suggest to him what to post on social media, or put as a profile picture on WhatsApp. I had a long conversation with my husband and asked him how he really feels about my behavior. He said he's mostly fine with them, but sometimes I can be too intense. I asked him to elaborate, and he admitted that sometimes I can be suffocating. He said sometimes I do this even when we are sleeping, such as when I spread my leg on him and weigh down on him to not make him move. I admit, I teared up listening to all this, and although he assured me he's not even thinking about leaving me, I don't want to make him miserable like my father is. I asked if I should go to therapy to try and mitigate my behavior. He said he would support me if I did, so now I am shopping for therapists. He also said he would be open for marriage counseling if I wanted to, and I am considering it. Hopefully our relationship is not too damaged, and I can try to be a more patient and understanding partner like he is with me. Top comments. It's so good that you've recognized this in yourself and you want to change. We mimic our parents and our relationships in ways we don't even realize. Good luck to you. This shows a lot of self-awareness on your part. A little assertiveness is okay, but if you're steamrolling your partner, that's not really love. Self-awareness. Doing these things over time and getting that she is an a-hole because other people had to tell her because she went to the limit to make her husband feel like he was violating his space and belongings? Yeah, super self-aware. I am not sure if am I an a-hole. Going to provide some background. I am in my 60s now. I was married to my ex-wife, and we had a daughter. Our marriage was going through its ups and downs, but I was really close with our daughter. But as our marriage was going through its difficulties, I made a huge mistake I still regret to this day. I started having an affair with my coworker. She was in a violent, physically abusive relationship at home. We became friends at work, and things just escalated from there. She got an out from me. She got the support she needed to file for divorce from her husband, who is currently in jail now. The affair went nowhere, and we called it off shortly after, but I was glad that she got out of her abusive relationship and that she was safe. But when my ex-wife found out about the affair, things expectedly didn't go well. She lashed out and said a lot of horrible things about me to our daughter, who was 15 at the time. I admitted full fault with the affair, but even after the divorce, I sensed that the distance between me and my daughter was growing, until one day, my daughter said she wasn't going to speak with me anymore, and she was going to cut me off from her life forever. That was the most painful thing anyone had ever said to me. I begged her to please reconsider. I still remember that day. But time passed on. My daughter kept her word, and after trying to connect with her for the first year, I gave up. I found out from one of my mutual friends that my ex-wife married a great guy. I was happy because I was hoping that would remove the hatred for my ex-wife, and my ex-wife would advise our daughter to at least rekindle a relationship with me. But that never happened. I moved states a year later. I am at peace now, but still have some aching sadness. I have retired. Both my parents have passed away. My brother passed away tragically a couple of years ago. To be honest, I am waiting for my turn. I have only my dog and my sister left. A couple of hours ago, my daughter called me on my phone. I haven't spoken to her in 17 years. I instantly recognized her voice, but I didn't feel anything. No happiness, no sadness, just indifference. She was crying a lot on the call, and we caught up on life. She's married, and she has a daughter who's now 12. She apologized for cutting off contact, and she says her mom asked her to reconnect with me, as her mom felt guilty about how everything played out. She said she really wanted me to meet her daughter, and her daughter was constantly asking about granddaddy, but I wasn't feeling anything. After we caught up on everything in our life, I told her I don't care about her or her daughter and to never contact me again. I then hung up. Was I the a-hole? Comments: you're the a-hole. I hate when adults make very bad adult decisions that affect their children and then blame the children when they respond in a very childlike manner. Your daughter was a teenager. That is a rough time for kids, even when their home life is stable. You gave her 1 whole year before you cut bait and gave up on her. Then you moved away. You told your daughter that she wasn't important enough to fight for, and she believed you. Now that she is an adult with a child of her own, she has reached out to you, and you again told her she wasn't important to you. She now knows she was probably right to cut you out the first time. Somebody said, did she really respond in a childlike manner though? Original poster: played stupid games and win stupid prizes. That's it, another replied. Did she really respond in a childlike manner though? This original poster hurt her mom and destroyed her family. And for what? Just so he could feel like the white knight. There's so much sympathy in his words about the coworker, but none for his ex-wife, the woman he chose to have family with, and for his daughter, his own flesh and blood. Original poster should be glad his daughter was even willing to reach out. By the way, you're the a-hole. One commenter replied, cheaters don't realize, or don't want to admit one thing. They're not cheating on their spouse only. They're cheating on their full family. The time spent with the coworker, the emotional involvement, maybe financial support is taken from somewhere, and this is usually from the family's resources. It's a choice they make of depriving the family of these things for the benefit of a stranger. Update. Look, I was extremely drunk last night. The words which came out of my mouth weren't the best, and my comments on my post weren't great either. Seeing how everyone said I was the a-hole, I decided to call my daughter again an hour ago. I didn't really expect her to pick up the call, but she picked up immediately. I apologized last night, and she said there was no need to apologize. I then sent her a link to this Reddit post on messages and told her I know I was the a-hole, and thousands said so. She again said, I wasn't the a-hole. She started crying again. I told her she's free to come to my house anytime the next 4 months, because after that I will be leaving the country with my sister and our dog. Our parents left us a nice farmhouse in their home country, and we will be spending the rest of our lives there. I sent her my address in messages, and my daughter said she'd come with her husband and her daughter by the end of next week. She asked if she was welcome to stay there for multiple days, and I told her she could stay for however long she wanted, as our house was spacious enough. New update. I have moved to the farmland, and am looking forward to spending the rest of my life here with my dog and my sister. It is peaceful and scenic. My daughter did come by to visit me with her husband and her daughter before I left the country. It was really nice seeing my granddaughter, who looked a lot like her mom. They stayed over at our place for a week, and we had a good time. However, it got a little sad when I told my daughter in private I had no interest in being a grandfather and just didn't have strong emotions for it. I think those words really stung her, and my daughter did cry a lot after I said those words. My daughter wanted to rekindle our relationship, but it's just too late now. I told my daughter she's free to visit me in the farmland anytime she wants, and the house is always open, but I doubt she'll be visiting anytime soon. The week she stayed over at my place before I left the country was a final goodbye for us. She has my number, but she hasn't called or texted since she left, and I haven't called or texted her either. That's the update for the many interested. This will probably be my only update. Comments. I'm definitely about to be an outlier here based on these comments, and I'm going to stick to it. Based on the original post from 81 days ago, where not surprisingly most people called you the a-hole. Not only are you the a-hole, you are a deadbeat selfish father and a cheater. You made your bed, you had a child, and then cheated on your wife. You then blamed that child for your disgusting betrayal. And this is about to be odd after calling you the a-hole. But I am proud that you decided to speak up and tell the truth. No child deserves to have a father who loves her so little, blames her for his mistakes, and now refuses to see her or his granddaughter because of his mistakes. Thank you for at least being honest that you are a terrible human being and not wasting her time.